Hello, hello. And yes, I am back here live on another fabulous Wednesday. Can you believe it? Already the middle of October. I'm just silencing my phone here so no one disturbs us. Yes, can you believe it? Hello, everyone. It is great to see you all. My name is Michael Smith, the National Education Manager of Janome Canada, and I'm coming back here live from my palatial estate in Collingwood, Ontario, Canada. I'm about 2 hours north of Toronto, and coming to you live in the Janome Canada Facebook page, Janome America, Janome Sewing Machines Facebook, Janome Canada's YouTube channel, and Janome America's YouTube channel. So regardless of your platform, there's always a way to share the Janome love. So what am I going to talk about today? Well, all month I've been showing some specialty presser feet, optional specialty presser feet to help you get your sewing done faster, easier, with more professional results, and they're just plain fun, and sewing should be fun. So what am I going to share today? Well, of course, I'm going to flip around my camera here, and eventually I'll clean up my sewing room. There we go. So my back camera here exposes my fabulous Janomi Memory Craft. This is the 1000. This is a new machine. It debuted here in Canada in June at Quilt Canada, and other subsidiaries around the world have it now. Memory Craft 1000. You see, it is a sewing and embroidery combo machine. So very fabulous. If you're in the market for a new machine, you want a machine to take to a class, maybe you're going away for the winter down south, you want something to take with you that isn't very huge, it's not going to break the bank, certainly, and it's nice and lightweight that you can carry it to a class with you. Or if you're teaching someone to sew, you want to begin to sew yourself, then this is a great model for you. Again, sewing and embroidery, so very fun. So today I'm going to show you some more optional specialty presser feet to help make the sewing task faster, easier, more enjoyable, more professional. If you are a garment sewist, have you ever read these instructions? 2 parallel lines of long basting stitches, and they're set at 5.0 is the stitch length in all of our Janome machines. And then there we go, 2 parallel lines of long basting stitches, and we would pull these threads, and very gingerly, do you see them starting to gather that up? And we would hope and pray and cross our fingers that we're not going to break that thread. Usually for me, it was way down here is when I would break that thread and curse it and think there has to be an easier way. Now, sometimes we would zigzag over dental floss. Oh, that's just so much trouble. And instead, Janomi says there is a faster and easier way to do some soft gathers. Enter the Janome Gathering Foot. Now, this is for 9mm in my blister pack, but the Memory Craft 1000 is a 7mm machine. And yes, the Gathering Foot is available for 5, 7, and 9mm machines. So everyone can share in the fun. There is full instructions at the back of the blister pack, of course. Now, here is the 9mm Gathering Foot. It is the V foot. Now, I did a series called A to Z with Janomi that's on the Janome Canada YouTube channel. You can go back to review. These were Instagram live presentations, so they're tall and skinny when viewed on YouTube, but you can still get all the information and see what I'm doing. So there's the V foot, and you'll see it's a very unusual foot from the side that has this very thick, slightly beveled at the front, and this very thick bed here. This porch is very thick, and then it goes very thin afterward. So it's a very unusual design, but this is the secret. The engineering behind these Janome feet just baffles me. It's so wonderful that they figure all of this out and really simplify the process for us. It's because of this big, thick porch here on the front of the foot that makes all the difference. Now, just like the applique foot, the AEP foot that I demonstrated the other week, you'll see there's a bar at the cross at the back as well as the bar in the front. So most of our presser feet are traditional snap-on feet, and you just click it down in that center bar and it attaches no problem. But the AEP applique foot and the V gathering foot, and also the T button sewing foot. They have the bar at the back, and you see it goes in that little notch there first, the bar in the back, and then the bar in the front, you can just pivot up and snap into place. It works out really easily. So again, clip in the bar at the back and then pivot it up so it clips in the front. Super simple, super easy. So here on my Memory Craft 1000, I will quickly switch out this foot. Very simple. There's a little black button at the back of the foot holder. We will remove the regular A foot. And again, I did that A to Z with Janomi series on Janome Canada YouTube. So you can go back to review all of those presser feet. They're all lettered. All Janomi presser feet are lettered. So you can go back to review. So this, because I have a camera in my way, is a little more challenging. But you see here on my Memory Craft 1000, I have an extra high presser foot lift, and I engage that by pressing up on the presser foot lever, and I was able to connect the back of my foot very easily. And then just with my little included stylist, I'm going to push up the front of that foot. So it works really easily. Again, sometimes it's a little fiddly for me because I have a camera in front of me, but you won't have that at home. So it's much easier for you. But again, very fast and very simple to attach that foot. And I'm just going to get my threads under the foot there. And then to gather, oh yes, I could do those long rows of basting stitches, but instead, oh no, I'm just going to go back to a regular stitch length for now. So our regular stitch length here in our Memory Craft 1000 is set at 2.4 stitch length. My needle position is 3.5, which is center needle position, as indicated on my LCD screen here. Half of 7 is 3.5, so I know this is a 7mm machine. But I'm going to read the back of my blister pack, and it suggests that we increase the needle tension and increase our stitch length. So I can leave my my needle position at 3.5 center needle position, but my stitch length, instead of 2.4, I am going to adjust to, I'll go up to 3.5, which is what it suggests on the blister pack. So 3.5, and then again, our thread tension. Now here in the Memory Craft 1000, we can adjust the thread tension by this dial here, which a number of our machines have. For other more advanced machines, we would touch our LCD screen to increase it. So our regular tension is set between 3 and 4. Now I want to increase, I want to tighten up that needle tension. So I'm going to go up here to a 5, which is what the blister pack suggests. So we can adjust our needle tension however we need to. We're going to tighten it up and we're going to lengthen our stitch. And that's all we need to do. Now, when you're testing how is this ruffle, how much is this going to ruffle, you cut yourself a bunch of strips. In my case, I made them 22-inch long. Just, you know, cut a strip of fabric and cut it in half from the bolt. And now I'm going to drop my foot. I can hold on to my thread tails, or do you know, at the side of almost every machine, from front to back is a thread holder. From back to front is a thread cutter. So I can hold up my threads very simply like that. Again, from back to front is a cutter. So how simple is that? And we just toss this on the floor like Eleanor Burns taught me from Quiltin' a Day. I love her. So yes, now our gathers, and away we go. It's that simple. Oh, it's already starting. Look at that. How perfect that is. Nothing fancy. I'm just using this specialty presser foot that has been engineered for this purpose. And I increased, again, my stitch length and increased my needle tension. Look at how beautiful that is. Very soft even gathers. So this is great if we are easing in the edge of a sleeve cap, in particular for garment sewist. We're going to ease in that sleeve cap very slightly. Then this is a great foot, a great technique to use. It really doesn't, pucker up the fabric here. Within the seam allowance, it may be a little more gathered in, but when that seam line is stitched, you're really not going to see too much, fold of the fabric out here. Now we can adjust this though. So we would take our 22-inch strip and then measure it and see how much this condenses. So we can either, if we didn't want that to condense as much, well, instead of my 3.5 stitch length, I could adjust it back to, let's go down to, we'll do 2.6. So we can vary the amount of gathers based on our stitch length and our needle tension. Those are the two variables in this case. So again, we take another of our 22-inch strip or whatever your strip is, and you experiment and you write yourself little notes on how much this condensed, how much this gathered up. So you see that is more subtle. That is very subtle, but it's still gathered up, especially here. Look at all that. It's still gathered up beautifully, but again, not as much because I didn't increase the stitch length as much. So you'll see as I have these two strips, together on one end, and you see here, this was my original strip. On top, this was set at 3.5 stitch length. So of course it's shorter, whereas the one on the bottom I set at 2.6 stitch length. So it's a little longer. It didn't gather up as much. So this is where, again, we just experiment more 22-inch strips in my case. So in this case, I really want to add lots of gathers. So I'm going to increase all the way up to, again, 5.0. That is as much as I can go, as long as I can go. So at this point, I haven't adjusted my needle tension any more than the suggested 5 on the blister pack. So this, I've adjusted my stitch length to a 5. That is a much longer basting stitch. And look at how beautiful. Ooh, look at that. So wouldn't this be great? Again, think of pillow shams, a ruffle around a pillow, a dust ruffle on a bed, a ruffle on an apron, a little girl's dress, or a doll's dress. Like, wouldn't that be adorable? So now when I take my strip, and again, I butt all the edges up on one side, and then I fold this out and see, wow, look how much shorter that is. That really condensed. Again, this was at 5.0. So look at how much it shrunk based on, this was my original strip that was at 3.5 stitch length. This longer strip was at 2.6 stitch length. And then this top strip was at 5.0 stitch length, and look at how much shorter. It's easily a couple of inches shorter. So again, you just practice and experiment based on the stitch length, and now I'm going to increase my needle tension. I'll go all the way up to an 8 and see what kind of effect that has, if that will make a big difference on my ruffles, my gathers, how many gathers I can get. And again, we just stitch this along very easily. So it's really, really fun. This is a great thing to do, not on your, finished garment right away or your finished project right away. You sit on a day, maybe it's a beautiful day here, but maybe if it's a rainy day, you sit inside and you just cut up a bunch of strips and you do these experiments first, and then you go to your good project. So this, I just increased the needle tension to an 8. Look at how those gathers. Look how gorgeous that is and how quick that was. I didn't have to worry about any breaking threads, pulling those long basting stitches. So this, ooh, look at that. So I butted up all my strips on one end. Look at how much that, wow, that went down to about half. That's amazing. Look at that. And then again, there was, just by adjusting the tension. So this top strip, I had adjusted to an 8, my needle tension. I left my stitch length at 5. This strip right here was also stitched at a stitch length of 5, but the needle tension was a number 5 as well. Look at that, those several inches. That's easily probably 6-7 inches easily that it drew up even shorter just by changing the needle tension. So isn't that gorgeous? Automatically, I think, wouldn't that make a cute little Barbie dress, a little doll's dress? That'd be adorable. Or how about a sleeve cap for the summer? If this is the body of your garment, and this beautiful could be a little cap sleeve, you know, finish that off on the serger with a rolled hem, for example. This is your seam allowance, and then there, that beautiful puffed ruffled sleeve cap. Isn't that adorable? Really super cute. Now, something you can also do for these gathers, if you want even more gathers, I'll move my needle tension back to a 5, which is what it recommends in the blister pack, is that number 5. But if I want some more gathers, what I can also do is, this is from my garment sewing days way back in college when I studied fashion design many years ago. So I'm starting to stitch, but I have my finger right back here. So I'm not allowing this fabric to really feed forward too much. It's going forward a little bit, but I'm stopping it because my finger is there. And you see, automatically, it's starting to gather up just a little more. So I gather up ever so much that I want. It's like, okay, that's enough. Then I release that, put my finger back here to stop it. And again, stitch a little more. Okay, that's good. Release. Put my finger back there, stitch a little more. So I can do this as well to create more gathers by stopping those gathers from releasing. I can keep my finger here, so that keeps them a little more tight. So when I trim my thread, look at that. Look how beautiful that is. Nice and tight gathers, just by keeping my finger there, so they're not escaping as they're stitching. They're more condensed. So isn't that cool? There is so much fun that you can have with this gathering foot. Again, the V foot. So check out the A to Z with Janomi series on Janome Canada YouTube. Oh, once again, I'm all tethered here. Whoops. How can I do this more easily? I'm all tethered. There, I can move that slightly. Okay, so A to Z with Janomi series. Yes, we can go on Janome Canada YouTube. Now again, Janomi America has lots of videos on their YouTube channel as well. So we go to the A to Z with Janomi series on Janome Canada YouTube. We have the playlist, and then let me get my cursor. There we go. So this is, I think, very fun to go back and see. There I am at the Janomi Sewing and Learning Center. And again, no beard. But it is very cute that you'll see, again, they're tall and skinny because they were screen captures from YouTube. But you can still gather all the information, and there, our former Parts Notions and accessory coordinator, Tanya, was there filming me. It was wonderful. So she was able to zoom in and get in nice and close. There we go. So I'm demonstrating, showing the foot. So a great resource on Janome Canada YouTube. And then we can also go to our, there we go, Janome Life blog. So you type in your browser, Janome Life, and then in the search box here to the right, you just type in Gathering Foot. And then here are all the blogs that have Gathering Foot. They're all in yellow that highlights Gathering Foot. So there are lots of blogs on the Janome Life blog. So type that in your browser. So more resources for learning there. Now, also a fabulous resource for learning is the Janome Presser Foot workbook. Now, this is very fun. You get this binder from your Janomi dealer, and the Presser Foot workbook has all these presser feet that come with a lot of machines. Not every foot comes with every machine, but many machines have a zipper foot, for example, the E foot. Now, your zipper foot may look a little different, but they all behave the same way. We'll use them in the same way. This is the M foot, is the overcast or over edge foot. Maybe your machine has the C foot, which is very similar. There's the A foot, the zigzag foot. Well, every machine has one of those. Every sewing machine, that is. This is the R, automatic buttonhole foot. There is the even feed or dual feed foot. The G foot is the blind hem foot. And again, your foot may look slightly different, but the process of a blind hem is the same. There is the D, the rolled hem foot, and there's the T, the button sewing foot. So all of these feet are demonstrated in the regular Presser Foot workbook, and it's all these little tips and tricks on how to use these feet. But we can get more, of course, from our Janome dealer. This is the addendums. There are several addendums available. One is the specialty presser feet addendum. So this is separate from the Presser Foot workbook. So maybe you just want this addendum. It's always wonderful to have it all, of course. But yes, as I go through, the three-way cording foot, for example, I just demoed last week. The applique foot, the AP foot, I demonstrated that 2 weeks ago. Further along, I demonstrated, the ribbon sequin foot at the first of the month. And then there, the gathering foot. It is on page 34. So as we go through these various addendums and all these little tips and tricks, if I can skip through to page 34. So all these little tips and tricks to get the most from our presser feet. As I flip through to 34, I should have marked this earlier, but it's really, really fun to go through. There is a little more of our fringe foot, and here we go, the gathering foot. So all the little tips and tricks. There is the part number there for 7mm, for 9mm. Now again, then it shows about adjusting our thread tension, the suggested stitch length, and all these little tips and tricks when we are using the gathering foot. So it's a really, really fun thing to do. And then again, more about like the pin tuck feet and so on. So the Presser Foot workbook is a wonderful resource available from any Janome dealer. And then again, you can get the various addendums, so you can get the most from your machine and your presser feet, regardless of which ones they are. So there we go. There is a quick little, I'm trying to be more mindful of time. So there is a quick little, rotate around to the front. There we go. Quick little Janome Canada, Janome America Facebook Live to show you more about the gathering foot, and we can get rid of those, those two parallel lines of stitching. Forget that. So much easier to use the dedicated presser foot like the gathering foot. Then you can make gathers faster and easier than ever, again with more professional results and hopefully some more fun too. So thank you everyone so much for joining me today. It's wonderful to see you all, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you. Take care. Bye.